It's a lightweight formula that for some of us, when you're like, look, I just want to look more awake when I wake up in the morning and look like I got the 8 hours, this is your 8 hours in the jar if you use nothing. But if you're also tired of your eyeshadow disappearing because maybe you have crepey texture around the eye, maybe you have oily lids, and you're like, gosh, I put all this work into buying products, trying technique with liners, and it's going haywire. This is your insurance policy. Now, we do offer a brush that's a separate purchase that you can use for eyeshadow brushes. You can check them out on beautyiq.com. And by the way, any Sigma purchase that you have tonight, you actually get a gift with purchase.
Yay!
That's a smudge brush. So here. So just a little FYI for you. But Kayla, before we start off with what this does, just in case you're at home, what kind of brush should you use with the Persuadable eyeshadow base?
So typically with Persuade, I'm going to use something that's going to be a flat, more dense brush. So I'm going to pull up here. I actually just applied pigment to it because I'm going to show you a quick demo in a minute. But this is our E55 eye shading brush. This is featured in the Make Me Classy travel kit that's on QVC.com. And typically, again, you want a denser brush that you can actually pack on color with onto the lid. So before I show you guys how it actually applies on the lid, I want to show you guys a quick demo of why this is so important to layer underneath your eyeshadow to really give you the truest hue out of any eyeshadow shade, on top of actually increasing the bold pigmentation and gives your eyeshadow more of a long wear finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply here eyeshadow without the base underneath of it, and I'm going to apply the primer in the same exact shade on top of it. So I did apply with the brush with Persuade. So you can see Persuade is right on my wrist right here. I'm going to apply a shadow here and the same exact shadow on top of it, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what it does. So let's do, woo, so fun. So I think I'm going to use more of this it's kind of like a beautiful auburn mahogany shade. And I'm going to go in with that same brush, just using the opposite side.
That looks like that could be like the foiled look almost, or metallic.
Yes, it's more of a metallic shade. It's got nice sheen to it and specks of glitter. This is our smokescreen eyeshadow palette, also available on QVC.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it here first. And you can see, I mean, it's beautiful. It's got nice pigment. You can see the specks of glitter.
You guys have excellent pigment in your eyeshadows.
Yes, but check it out with the base on top of it. How much different it is.
Woo, lady.
Is that not insane? That is the same exact shade. But now you can really see a nice, beautiful blended finish. You can see the coverage, you can see the color. It's more bold. And that is all because of Persuade eyeshadow base.
And how many times have you ever been with your girlfriend? And Kayla, I imagine this happens a lot, especially on the football field with all the girls that you hang out with, and you're like, oh my gosh, I love your shadow. What palette is it? And you go and buy the shadow or the palette, and you're like, why doesn't it look like that on me?
Right.
And that's because, again, what this does is it almost takes your skin tone out of the equation, whatever that is, and you just get the benefit of the true color in the palette. So it's kind of like our steal, where if you find that you're frustrated that maybe you don't feel like eyeshadows of any brand really show up or stay pigmented, this is your secret weapon. And it's all for $13. And it works with your existing colors that you already have.
Well, and look how much pigment is in this thing. I mean, you can get a lot for the value of this particular pot. But I mentioned earlier that I'm a cheerleader for the Minnesota Vikings. And when I am, at game day and we rehearse 3 hours for a 3-hour rehearsal before the game even begins, you can imagine how much sweat is going on. You can imagine how hard I'm dancing. I have to have something like this, or my eyeshadows are just gonna melt right off my face. It's super easy to use. It's a really nice creamy texture. And all you're gonna do is pack it on from the lower lash line all the way up to right underneath your brow bone. So I'm gonna start, I applied, again, the E55 eye shading brush that's in that travel kit. And I'm just gonna start by using a packing motion, and you'll notice a packing motion is just going up and down. And I go all the way up, and it blends super, super easy.
And it doesn't look like you have product on your eyes. All things considered, when you talk about an eyeshadow base or primer even, it just looks like you have a naturally well-rested eye, which is so nice.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of neutralizes the canvas. I mean, here you can notice that there's no fine lines. You're not seeing any discoloration. Whereas here, you can see some redness, and you can see some of my veins through, the hood of my lid. And it really just neutralizes the pigment.
This is what I love about Beauty IQ when we teach you how to do something, because we're like, wow, we have veins on our eyes, you know, and we're like,
You're like,
you have,
what?
you have
Sorry,
the
I
same
didn't
thing
want to
too.
say that, but.
No, but I mean, this is the kind of thing that like when we, especially being in HD and with our lights, you can kind of see the nooks and crannies of our complexions and know that, you know, we're just like you. There's areas that we need a little more attention. There's areas that we learn how to bring out. But I mean, even as you see Blair apply this, like, I just love the the cleanliness that this gives your eye. Like if you only wanted to wear liner, Blair, I feel like just with that, you'd be good to go.
It kind of evens everything out.
Yeah.
And I love this. I'm actually using the brush that we used earlier.
No way.
From the
Blair,
lip. Yes.
digging it.
And this is awesome too because the same way that Tip was able, you know, to go around your lip and clean that line up.
Yeah.
I love that because you can get this right into that eyebrow area, that arch area, and help really kind of like shape those eyebrows and give a little bit of that highlight action going
love
on
that.
too.
And you know what?
So
It's
that's
nice to
awesome.
have the highlight with the brush because I don't know about you, but sometimes with the highlighting pencils, I am just not responsible enough to blend it the way that I should. So it
Yeah.
always looks like a line, you know?
Right.
Yep.
Well, one thing I want to call out is the versatility behind our synthetic bristles. They are, you know, bristles that are going to work for all types of products, whether they are liquid, powders, or creams. And so she's using this cream formula with a really dense brush, and though we did apply it onto our lips, it can be used on the eyes because it's shaped great for that. It can even be used for under eye concealer because it's got that nice edge. And so just remember, there's a lot of versatility to these brushes, even though they do have one specific primary function.
So the other thing I want to ask you is I feel like it takes very little to use something like this. Can you ever, like just on a morning where it's tinted moisturizer and whatnot, just apply it with your fingertips?
You can, but the thing is remember when you're using your fingertips that you are actually going to end up wasting a lot of product. You
Okay.
have the little grains in your fingertips,
Yeah.
you know, and product will get stuck in there and you end up losing a lot of product as you apply with your fingers. So using a brush is going to give you more of a seamless application and you won't waste as much product. These synthetic bristles are designed to give you minimal product absorption as well, so they're actually designed to pick up only the product that it needs. On top of that, when you use your fingertips, you're not necessarily being environmentally friendly, you know, because a lot of times you're using your fingers and then you have to take a cotton swab or a sponge and buff and blend it in, and then you're throwing it away after one-time use. So that's another great reason to use brushes as well.
Thank you for that intervention. Sometimes
Well, some people don't
we're a
know.
little lazy, you know, and you're just like, boop, I'll just put it in there, and you're like, why is my eyeshadow base running out so fast?
Right,
Ah.
right.
You're like, because you're using your fingertips. All right, so $13 for this. So we're building a look that's kind of lip focused tonight, but oh my gosh, are you gonna be so excited about the Wicked eyeliner?
Yes, I've been waiting.
This stuff is so good. So here we have the Sigma Gel eyeliner in Wicked. It is this gorgeous glossy black. And when I tell you that you can create any kind of line that you want to, it can be super thin, you can tight line, you can go bold for a cat eye. This texture you will appreciate so much because it's not finicky. It's not one of those where you have to have an extremely steady hand because the product is so hard to move. It glides over your eyelids, and I will tell you the pigment payoff is wonderful because my biggest gripe, especially when it comes to black liner, I think it's so incredibly classic, and a lot of times I think you can, if it's done properly, you can barely even notice it's there. However, I extremely dislike how sometimes the black pigment is not black, but yeah, this delivers in a wicked good way.
Oh, pun intended?
Ooh, obviously.
Yes, I love it. I'm thrilled to introduce this to all of you beauties out there. This is something I've been wanting on our product page for a long time. Wicked Gel Liner is a really nice jet black formula. The two things that I love about it is it glides on so easy. And on top of it, the formula is opaque. So it's not like those liners where you feel like you draw a line and you don't have that coverage. So you have to continuously be building just to get that nice rich pigment. This is opaque. One swipe is literally all you need. Now, when applying this, I'm going to be using another brand new brush to the lineup, which is our EO6 Winged Liner Brush. Now, this brush is awesome because of the fact that it is a teeny tiny small angle, and it is designed to give you exact product placement and precision when working with things like a gel liner or even a liquid liner. And so I'm super pumped. I'm going to be doing kind of more of an exact product placement, thinner line.